I want to thank Nikki Bradley for joining me today with ENVOY Guide Podcast. Nikki is a brand strategist, all-around multi-hyphenate entrepreneur, and I'm going to let her get into some of the things that she offers her clients and what her passion is. But welcome, Nikki.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to have this conversation.
Well, thank you. And you're based in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we recently met at a conference there. And so I want you to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So I'm Nikki Bradley. I am a personal brand and executive presence strategist. I work primarily with entrepreneurs, executives, and experts who have been hiding, often in plain sight, and really help them to become more visible, get seen by the people they were put on this planet to serve, and hone their messaging so that they can communicate more clearly what they do, what their purpose is, and how they help people. So that's really what I do. I've been doing this now. Let's see, I've had my company for 10 years. But I've been in this space of sales, marketing, and branding for few decades plus. So telling my age here a little bit. I was 12 when I started, just so you know. But I coach, I consult, I teach. So right now I'm really enjoying doing a lot of facilitating workshops and trainings for organizations, and helping their leaders just really curate what people know and believe about them, whether they're in the room to talk about themselves or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, one of the things that you mentioned in your feature information was that you have clients that you do a lot of virtual meetings and in person as well. In today's environment that we're seeing, that's so chaotic, what are you hearing from your clients right now? And what are some of the things that you're saying that they need from you in the environment that we're in that's so chaotic?
I think the thing that the topic I think that has come up the most recently is, how do I do this? Like putting myself out there, being on social media or whatever the thing is, to be more visible when I don't have time and I'm doing all of the things. Because when I'm working with high performing people, they are busy. And so one of the things that we've really been focusing on lately has been leveraging some of the technology and the tools, especially like AI, to create content and do it in a way that feels authentic to them and doesn't sound like a robot, but that helps them to be more efficient and effective with getting things done when they don't have a lot of time. So that is a very tricky proposition. It's something that I've been working on a lot over the last few months. And I spoke at a conference yesterday, and one of the speakers was saying, they were asked the question about, can AI write content for you? And they said that they didn't believe that it could do it well. I have found that to be the opposite, but it takes a lot of legwork on the front end. Number one, you have to be clear about who you are. You have to be clear about what you do and who you serve. And the better information you give AI, the better results you're going to get. So we spend a lot of time training the AI, and it takes time to get it to sound like you or close to sounding like you. It's never going to know everything that you know. It's never going to have all the stories that you have, all the experiences that you have, but it can give you a really good place to start, where then you can just go back and amplify it or, enhance it.
Yeah, one of the things that I've started doing is using AI to just give me some ideas and at least get me started, and at least try to come up with new ways. Because I'll ask it, I'm like, what are some different ways I can meet this challenge? Or if somebody gives me this objection to using my services or my pricing, what are some ways I can overcome that? So it's really great to just say, just throw out any question, just see what comes up. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're going to lose anything or that it's going to hurt you. So I think that's great advice to just tell people, just go ahead and use it and see how it can help you, especially to automate or to just give you some different ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I teach this method. It's called the Bubba method. And if you've ever seen Forrest Gump, you remember Bubba Gump.
Mm-hmm.
And Bubba was his friend, and he had a shrimp boat. And there's a scene in the movie where he's explaining to Forrest all of the different ways that you can prepare shrimp. And he's like, there's butterfly shrimp, fried shrimp, shrimp etouffee, shrimp, he just goes down the list, right? And so I tell clients that once you get really clear on the problem that you solve for people, you want to Bubba that. Like, that's what you want to, that when you're thinking about, like, what kind of content can I create? How do I talk about this?
Mm-hmm.
You want to think about, okay, what are all the different questions that people have about this? What are some of the challenges that I've seen people have with this? How are people thinking about it? How are they experiencing it in their lives? And so ChatGPT and AI are a really good assistant to use to help you think about all the different ways that you can Bubba your problem.
Yeah.
So I will ask that all the time. I'll say, okay, here's the problem that most of my clients face. Give me 20 different ways that I can talk about this topic. And it'll give me a whole list. And then I can go deeper with that. But a lot of times we get stuck in what we see, like just this one way or a couple of ways of thinking about a topic. And it just helps me sometimes to broaden my perspective. And then a lot of times it'll give me ideas, and I'll have, oh yeah, that did come up with this client. And I have a story that can go with it, or I have this thing that I can add to it. But I think that's a really good use of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I loved in your information that you sent to me, you made a statement of procrastination masked as planning. And I can totally relate to that, because even though I'm trying to utilize ChatGPT and it's giving me like all this information, I'm procrastinating in actually putting it into action and doing it, even though it's me calling myself planning. So like,
Yes.
all right, I'm doing this so I can go ahead and set up my social media content so I can do all this, but then I'm procrastinating. I keep putting it off because I'll get to it later. Something else comes up. So explain what that is in your terms, procrastination masked as planning, and how do you overcome that?
So I can relate to this, because this is definitely me. It can be me at times. So for me, that looks like kind of the example you just gave, spending a lot of time in something like ChatGPT, ideating, but then not actually creating the content from the ideas that came up. And so one of the things that I've done, been trying to do more recently, is I'll get like, a list of ideas of things. And also, one of the things that helps me, even outside of AI, I keep my phone we all have our phone with us all day. So as ideas come to mind, as I'm having conversations with people, we get ideas that are sparked. And so I will put them, I have a folder in my notes file on my phone that's just for content ideas. And so I'll go and I'll just add, even if I just don't have it fully fleshed out, I'll put those in my notes, and then I'll come back to it later. And so what has helped me is I do time blocking. I will, I have certain things that I do on certain days, and I block that time on my calendar to get those things done. So
that's a good idea.
So Monday is usually my content creation day, and I block those first few hours of the day to do that. So it's not just I take the ideas that I've come up with during the week, and Monday morning is when I'm actually creating the thing. I have certain days that are for outward facing interactions. So whether that is sales calls or client calls or doing podcast interviews and things like that. I only do those on certain days. I have certain times that I block for administrative tasks. So
Yeah.
basically, I put all these things and schedule them on my calendar. And for me, we were talking about being busy and the chaos and everything.
Yeah.
If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. And I think that's the case for most of us. So that really helps me to stay committed to getting things done and not just planning and never executing.
Yeah. Okay. Those are great tips. And I actually tried that one time and then I fell out of it. And I'm like, I need to get back into that because it is a great way to keep consistent and on track and actually get stuff done. Because I'm the type of person almost with ADHD. It's like, oh, a little bird or my cat or something like that. So those are some great ideas just to at least try to feel like you're getting something done and moving forward rather than just being stuck where you are.
Yeah. I think I am somebody who is motivated also by rewards. And so for me, on those days when I have, set things that I get done, say on a Monday or a Tuesday, once I finish those things, if I want to, I can be done for the day. I try not to give myself more than 1 to 2 big rocks to do each day. And so if I get anything else done, then that's gravy. But I focus on getting those 1 to 2 main things done every day. And that's how I feel like you can keep moving forward. But if I'm done with the things that I had blocked for the day by 12 o'clock, I'll go watch Netflix. I'll go take a nap.
Oh yeah.
And if I feel like doing more later, then I will. But
yeah. And that's a great way to make sure you don't get burnt out too, because that's one thing I had to learn over the last year, because before last year, I was like constantly working from the time like 10 a.m. until 10 o'clock at night sometimes. And I knew I was burning myself out because I was in this mindset, I got to do everything. I got to make sure everything is done. And I wasn't taking time out for myself and wasn't spending time with the people I should have been spending time with. And so now it's like, okay, I'll do this much and then I'm going to go do something else that I feel like will feed my soul, feed me in other ways, because that's the only way I can justify. I'm like, I got to get all this done, but there's also personal time that I need to put in there. So that's great advice too, because a lot of times you feel like you're doing so much, but not moving forward. And you have to realize once you take a break from everything, you can see, oh, I actually did do something today. I got that done. So I can mark that off my list and do something else now.
I'm so glad you said that about taking time to pour into yourself personally too. I know that I am somebody who has experienced burnout, like to the point where I was laid up in a hospital bed from doing too much. And so I had to make some shifts in my life. And one of the things that I changed for myself is I don't start work. And I know everybody doesn't have the flexibility that I have with what I do, but even when I was working my 9 to 5, I would get up a little bit earlier, and I set time at the beginning of the day that I'm not talking to anybody else from externally. I'm not checking social media, none of that stuff. And even if it's something as simple as I lay in the bed before I get out of bed and I call them gratitude rants. So the first thing that I do before my feet hit the floor is, in my mind, I'm talking to God and I'm letting him know all the things that I'm grateful for. And I just see how long I can go. So some mornings it's 30 seconds. Some mornings it's 10, 15 minutes before I get out of bed. And then I have my own meditation or devotional time before I speak to anybody, even if that's 5 or 10 minutes. So I think there's things like that you can do. And at one point, and I want to get back to doing this, I think I did this for 3 years straight. Every morning after I did those things, I took a bath. And that was like my centering myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes my meditation would happen while I was in the bath, but it's like that self-care thing that we often forget to do for ourselves so that we can pour out to other people.
Well, I want to thank you for spending time with me today. And we have gone over a lot of tips and ideas, and hopefully people will be able to take something away, even if it's just a nugget or two from our conversation. I look forward to having people read your feature in the July-August issue of the ENVOY Guide. There is so much that you shared in your feature that I really think people are going to learn a lot, not only about you, but how they can utilize your services and how you can help them with their entrepreneurship, with their journey. And so I look forward to people reading your story and talking with you again at some point and sharing some additional tips and ideas that you have. So everyone, thank you for joining us. And thank you, Nikki, for joining me on the ENVOY Guide podcast.
Thank you for having me.